Santosh. Are you hearing my voice? Students, are you hearing my voice?
సార్ వినిపిస్తుంది సార్.
Okay, so before going to the today's concept, the daily life in the Roman civilization, as a part of the cultural aspects of ancient Rome. In the last class, we covered certain things regarding the cultural aspects, and the remaining things we'll see today. Okay, so before going to the today's concept, can you give me 1 or 2 points what we discussed in the last class?
Sir, about literature, mythology, and religion, sir.
Yeah, good. Others, please. Santosh. Ashok. Indra Kumar.
So we discussed about literature of Roman culture.
Good.
The first pattern is Greek languages, and
Okay.
they are mostly influenced by Greek languages.
Good.
There are many poets, and we discussed about mythology also. Sir.
Yes, right. Gopi. Okay. Uh, in the last class, we discussed about this literature and religion and certain things on the mythology of the ancient Rome. Okay, so as a part of the cultural aspects of Roman civilization, we discussed those things. And apart from those, culture as a part of culture, apart from this religion and literature, there are so many things to be covered. Okay, so as a part of the culture, there are many things comes under these cultural traits. Okay, so apart from this religion, we have to see other things like the food habits, dress styles. Okay, so art and architecture and their daily life, right? So some social conditions also we'll see. Okay, so today we are going to see first of all the daily life in the civilization. Then we'll move to how the life in the cities. Then we'll move to how the cloth styles or the dress styles they follow. Okay, so then we'll see the art and architecture. As a part of art and architecture, we'll see different things like music, art, paintings. Okay, so all those things. Okay, so first of all, we'll see the daily life, how the daily life is there. Okay, so in the last class, I have to recap the points once again. And as a part of literature, there are many important writers and poets we'll see, and they are like a intellectual class. Okay, so where basically the Romans were very fond of the learning. Okay, so and basically they learned the grammar, logic in the initial stages, and then they concentrate on the mathematics, astronomy, medicine, like that. Okay, so in the as a part of literature, Romans tried to imitate uh, these Greeks. Okay, so Greeks and Romans had certain association, and you see certain similarities or similar things among the Greeks and Romans. Okay, so where the Greeks were like a practical minded, Okay, so these Romans should be a people who imitate these Greeks. Okay, so within the Greek literature, there are many more and many writers we'll see, like the Cicero, one of the writer come intellectual who had he contributed a lot to the literature and also logic. Okay, so and another during the Augustus time, many intellectual class like the Virgil, Horace, Livy, Ovid. Okay, so all these had a great contribution to the literature, Roman literature, and all these were patronized by this Augustus during the Augustus age. Okay, so all concentrate and contributed a lot towards the ancient literature. Okay, so after him, there are other historians also. Will see Tacitus, Plutarch, Juvenal. Okay, so Juvenal, who was a satirist in the ancient Roman civilization. Okay, so apart from that, we had conversation over this ancient literature, sorry, religion also. So ancient Romans worshipped gods and spirits at a time, because worshipping these spirits and gods goes in a parallel way. Okay, so they didn't build temples. Particularly, they are not for they are not in the structure of the temples. Okay, so we'll see certain pantheon structures. Pantheon structures means those are home for certain gods and goddesses. Okay, so we cannot use here the term temple. We can simply use as a term the pantheon. Pantheon is a holy place for a god or goddesses. Okay, so here the head of the family offered simple ceremonies to the family gods and spirits also. Okay, so apart from the common gods and goddesses, they maintain certain individual gods and goddesses for their families also. Okay, so and in these influenced by the religion of ancient Rome, influenced by the Greeks, and later they started having certain the prototype of Greek gods in different names. Okay, so like the god Jupiter was a sky god, and whom Romans consider as the Almighty. Okay, so the most important goddess was Juno, and Mars became god of war. Ceres became popular with the farmers for the deity gave good crops. Okay, so Venus became a goddess of love. Neptune was the sea god, whereas Poseidon, you see, god of sea in the history of Greek. Okay, so apart from these gods and goddesses, they can also celebrate certain festivals to praise these gods and goddesses also. Okay, so Romans observed the two important festivals here. One is the Lupercalia, which is on 15th February. Next one is the Saturnalia, which is on 17th December. Okay, so apart from this Lupercalia and Saturnalia, they also celebrate a festival to honor a great mother of gods, Cybele. Okay, so Cybele also important god who consider as a mother of all goddesses. Okay, so gods and goddesses. Say okay. So to honor the Cybele, they also celebrate one festival. Okay, so such things we see in the last class, and today we'll see the remaining things in the ancient cultural aspects of ancient Roman. We'll go with the daily life, the routine life which followed in the ancient Greek. Okay, so before going to that, I have to share my screen, and then I'll continue my lecture. Students, are you getting my screen? Okay, students. First of all, we'll see the food and job and daily life in the ancient Roman civilization. And we'll start with a typical day, where a typical Roman day would start off with a light breakfast and then off to work. And work would end in the early afternoon when many Romans would take a quick trip to the baths to bath and socialize. Okay, so at around 3 p.m., they would have dinner, which was as much of a social event as a meal. Okay, so when you see certain jobs in the ancient Roman civilization, and ancient Rome was a complex society that required a number of different job functions and skills to the function, and most of the manual tasks were performed by the slaves. And here are some of the jobs as a Roman citizen might they followed. Okay, so because as a part of the social structure, we had certain things over this ancient Roman society, where the Roman society, which divided into 2 to 3 divisions. One is the patrician class, which is nothing but a upper class. Plebeian class is a common people, and the slavery. Okay, so this is apart from these, there are other 2 subcategories within the patricians, where the people nothing but the freedmen and the non-freedmen. Okay, సో స్వేచ్ఛాజీవులు అట్లనే ఏదైతే కొంతవరకు స్వేచ్ఛ ఉన్నటువంటి జీవులుగా మనం ఏదైతే ప్యాట్రిషియన్ ఫ్యామిలీని మనం డివైడ్ చేస్తూ ఆల్రెడీ సోషల్ స్ట్రక్చర్లో మనం ఆల్రెడీ మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో ఏదైతే ప్యాట్రిషియన్ అనేటటువంటిది ఒక మొదటి తరగతిగా చెప్పుకున్నాం, అట్లనే ప్యాట్రిషియన్ కింద ఉండేటటువంటి ప్లెబియన్ అనేటటువంటిది 2వ తరగతిగా చెప్పుకున్నాం. కామన్ పీపుల్ ఉంటారు, సామాన్యమైనటువంటి ప్రజలు. అట్లనే ఏదైతే స్లేవ్స్ బానిసలు అనేటటువంటి వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే ఉందో అది అట్టడుగున ఉన్నటువంటి వర్గంగా మనం ఆల్రెడీ ఏదైతే ఆ సొసైటీ, రోమన్ సొసైటీ గురించి మాట్లాడుకునేటప్పుడు మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో అందులో రకరకాలైనటువంటి ఏదైతే రాజకీయపరమైనటువంటి హక్కులు కానీ, అట్లనే ఏదైతే ఒక రాజ్యాన్ని నడిపించేటటువంటి పాలక వ్యవస్థ ఏదైతే ఉందో, అంటే పాలకులు మొత్తం కూడా ఈ ప్యాట్రిషియన్ అనేటటువంటి తరగతి నుంచే వచ్చేవాళ్ళని మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో సెనెట్లో ఉన్నటువంటి 300 మంది రిప్రజెంటేటివ్స్లో 300 మంది కూడా ఈ ప్యాట్రిషియన్ తరగతి నుంచి వచ్చేవాళ్ళని మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. అట్లనే ఎవరైతే సెనెట్ పైన ఉన్నటువంటి కాన్సుల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఏదైతే మెజిస్ట్రేట్స్, 2 మెజిస్ట్రేట్లు ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళు కూడా ఆ ప్యాట్రిషియన్ తరగతి నుంచే వచ్చారని మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో అవన్నీ వాటితో పాటు మనం సొసైటీలో ఉన్నటువంటి రఫ్గా కొన్ని డివిజన్స్ చేసుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో జనరల్గా ఏదైనా ఒక సొసైటీ గురించి మనం మాట్లాడుకునేటప్పుడు సో ఆ సొసైటీలో రకరకాలైనటువంటి తరగతులు మనకు కనిపిస్తాయి. ఓకే, సో వర్క్ డివిజన్ అనేటటువంటిది అది ఏదైతే ప్రొఫెషన్ బేస్డ్గా జరుగుతుంది కాబట్టి, సో సొసైటీలో జరిగేటటువంటి పనులన్నీ కూడా వాళ్ళు ఒక డివిజన్ ప్రకారం ఏదైతే ఆల్రెడీ వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే ప్రొఫెషనల్ బేస్డ్గా ఒక డివిజన్ అనేటటువంటి ఏర్పడుతుంది కాబట్టి ఏ ప్రొఫెషన్ వాళ్ళు ఆ పని చేస్తూ ఉండేటటువంటి ఒక పద్ధతి ప్రతి ఒక్క నాగరికతలో కనిపిస్తూ ఉంటుంది కాబట్టి, సో ఇక్కడ రోమన్ సొసైటీలో కూడా అలాంటి ఒక సమాజంలో ఉన్నటువంటి వర్గ విభజన గురించి ఆల్రెడీ మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఓకే, సో మళ్ళొకసారి ఏదైతే ఆ జాబ్ నేచర్ బేస్ చేసుకుని ఉన్నటువంటి కొన్ని రకాలైనటువంటి వర్గాలు ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో వాటిని గురించి మాట్లాడుకొని నెక్స్ట్ మిగతా అంశాలకు వెళ్ళిపోదాం. ఓకే, సో in the ancient Rome, there are certain the professional based classes you will see. Okay, so these we better to say as ancient Roman jobs. Okay, so ancient Rome was a complex society that required a number of different job functions and skills to the function. Okay, so first of all we'll see the farmer, most of the Romans who lived in the countryside were the farmers, and the most common crop was wheat, which was used to make bread. Okay, so which is a wheat was a staple crop where particularly the Romans has followed. Next one is, apart from the wheat, they also grown certain things like uh, olive, one of another important crop they grown. Okay, so apart from that, grapes also another important gardens the Roman ancient Roman people has followed. And next one is the soldier. The Roman army was large and needed soldiers. The army was a way for the poorer class to earn a regular wage and to gain some valuable land at the end of their service. And it was a good way for the poor move up in a status. Okay, so you are well aware that the Greeks and Romans were warlike minded people. Okay, so you see various city states in the Greek and Roman territories, and within these city states, the conflicts are common. Okay, so due to these conflicts, they also participated in certain battles and wars. Okay, so we already discussed certain things regarding the Greek civilization, Greek society, where a child after is 7, they can join in a military training school, and after completion of the education in the military training school, they directly enter to the military. Okay, so after completion of certain service in the military, they had the option. Okay, so they can leave the military or they can continue in the military. Okay, so same situation you'll see in the Roman also. So where after getting certain age, the children may definitely enter in the military training like schools, and after completion of their training, they directly enter to the military. Okay, so such the soldier, the profession of soldier, they treated as a holy employment, or they treated it as a holy function, a holy job. Okay, so and those who are soldiers in the military, they had certain privileges also, the respect in the society, some high status they will see, and the mother of the particular soldier have certain respect in the society also. Okay, so due to these things, the joining in the military, which is a greater thing in the society of Roman civilization. Okay, so another one is the merchant class. Merchants of all sorts of sold and bought items from around the empire, and they kept the economy rolling, and the empire is rich. Okay, so we all had a certain things over the merchant class, and also this trading class. Okay, so we have discussed these things while when we had a glance over the economy of Roman civilization, and within that we discussed over the merchant class, also trading class, certain trade related things. Okay, so in that, the whole economy of the Roman empire, which is carried by the merchant class. Okay, so next one is the craftsman. From making of dishes and pots to crafting fine jewelry and weapons for the army, craftsmen were important to the empire. And some craftsmen worked in the individual shops and learned a specific craft, usually from their father. Okay, so others were slaves who worked in large workshops that produce items in large quantities, such as the dishes or pots. Okay, so you are well aware that every civilization there should be the craftsmanship, and the craftsmanship should followed by various section of the people, and those may various things, various sections you will see. Okay, so those who work the metal work, those are like considered as a smiths. Okay, so those who make the pots or utensils, they consider as a potters. Okay, so those who have the craftsmanship of various things. They had the various names. Okay, so but their main thing is that they have to be make certain things. Okay, so they follow metallurgical skills, or they follow various skills like making cloth, or making utensils, or potters, or likewise. Okay, so but these skills also carried by the generation to generation. Okay, so they transmit from one generation to generation. Okay, so as a part of society, these works may be carried from father to child and generation to generation. Okay, so likewise, these may be like a traditional craftsmanship you will see in the Roman civilization. After that, there is another section of the society. They will entertain whole the society. The people of ancient Rome like to be entertained. Just like today, there were a number of entertainers in the room, including the musicians, dancers, actors, chariot racers, and gladiators like that. Okay. So apart from that, we'll see the lawyer, teachers, and engineers also. The more educated Romans could become the lawyers, teachers, and engineers also. Okay. So as a part of the government, okay, you'll see a systematic administrative structure in the Rome. As a part of administrative structure, systematic administrative structure, you'll see number of bureaucrats also. Okay, so bureaucrats in the sense government officials, right? So the government of Rome was a huge one, and there were all sorts of government jobs, from tax collectors to the clerks to high-ranking position like the senators also. Okay, so the senators were the wealthy and powerful, and the senators served in their positions for life, and at times there was many as 600 members of the Senate. Okay, so the number of Senate was changed according to the period. Okay, so sometimes we find the 300 members at the sometime we'll see 600 members also. Okay, so even though 600 or 300, the majority of the Senate, the members of the Senate from the upper strata, like the patrician class only. Okay, so when you see the family, we already had a glance over the family also. Okay, so once again we'll see the family is a unit, basic unit, which was very important to the Romans, and the head of the family was the father, called the pater familia. Okay, so legally he had all the power in the family. However, usually the wife had a strong say in what went on the family. She often handled the finances and managed the household. ఓకే, సో ఇక కుటుంబానికి సంబంధించి మనం కొన్ని రకాలైనటువంటి అంశాలు మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. ఏదైతే పేటర్ ఫ్యామిలీ అనేటటువంటి ఒక కుటుంబ పెద్ద ఉండేటటువంటి వాడు, సో కుటుంబం మొత్తం మీద అతని పెత్తనం మాత్రమే ఉండేది. సో ఇక్కడ జనరల్ గా కుటుంబాలు అన్నీ కూడా ఏదైతే పితృస్వామ్యమైనవి కాబట్టి, సో ఏదైతే ఆ కుటుంబ పెద్ద జనరల్ గా ఎల్డర్ ఎవరైతే ఉంటారో కుటుంబంలో, సో కుటుంబంలో జనరల్ గా ఎవరైతే పెద్ద ఉంటారో అతను మాత్రమే కుటుంబ పెద్దగా వ్యవహరిస్తూ ఉండేటటువంటి వాడు. ఆ కుటుంబ పెద్దగా ఉన్నటువంటి అతను చెప్పినటువంటి మాట ప్రతి ఒక్కళ్ళు వినాల్సిందే. ఓకే, సో ఇక ఎదిరించి ఉండేటటువంటి పని మాత్రం పని ఏదైతే ఆ కుటుంబంలో చేసేటటువంటి వాళ్ళు కాదు. అట్లాగే ఉమెన్ ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో, సో ఉమెన్ కి సరైనటువంటి అంటే ఆ ఫ్యామిలీలో అంత రెస్పెక్ట్ మాత్రం ఉండేది కాదు. కానీ కొన్నిసార్లు సో ఆమె ఏదైతే ఒక ఆర్థిక అంశాలకు మాత్రం ఆర్థిక పరమైనటువంటి అంశాలు కొంతవరకు కంట్రోల్ చేసేటటువంటి పరిస్థితి ఉండేది. మొత్తం మిగతా డొమెస్టిక్ వర్క్ ఏదైతే ఉందో, గృహానికి సంబంధించినటువంటి పనులు ఏవైతే ఉంటాయో అవన్నీ కూడా ఆమె మాత్రం చూసుకునేది. మిగతా అన్నీ కూడా ఏదైతే కుటుంబ పెద్ద మాత్రం చూసుకుంటూ ఉండేవాడు. కానీ కొన్ని సందర్భాల్లో మాత్రం ఆ స్త్రీకి, ఏదైతే కుటుంబంలో ఉన్నటువంటి స్త్రీకి లేదా తల్లికి ఒక గౌరవం దక్కేది. ఏదైతే మిలిటరీలో ఒక వీరమరణం పొందినటువంటి సైనికుడు ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో ఆ సైనికుని యొక్క తల్లికి మాత్రం కొన్నిసార్లు అంటే ఆ ఆ వీరమరణం పొందిన తర్వాత ఎవరైతే సైనికుడు ఉన్నారో ఆ మదర్కి మాత్రం కొంత సన్మానం చేసి లేదా గౌరవించేటటువంటి ఒక పద్ధతి మాత్రం మనకి ఈ గ్రీక్ అండ్ రోమన్ సివిలైజేషన్లో కనిపిస్తూ ఉండేది. అంతకుమించి ఉమెన్కి ఎలాంటి ఇంపార్టెన్స్ అనేది మనకు కనిపించదు. ఓకే, సో ఇక ఎడ్యుకేషన్కి సంబంధించి చూసినట్లయితే అంటే రోమన్ చిల్డ్రన్ స్టార్టెడ్ స్కూలింగ్ ఎట్ ద ఏజ్ ఆఫ్ 7. Okay, so like the Greeks also. Okay, so and the wealthy children would be taught a full-time tutor. Okay, so in the initial days, we already discussed that in the initial days, the Roman children was which is taught by the Greek tutors. Okay, so later these Greek appointed their own Greek teachers only. Sorry, Roman teachers only. Okay. So other children went to public school and they studied subjects such as the reading, writing, math, literature, and debate also. And school was mostly for boys. However, some healthy girls were uh, 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 taught at home, and poor children did not get to go to school. Okay, so it's a common phenomena in every civilization, and poor and lower class children were somewhat away from the schools. This is a common phenomenon in the world civilizations. And when you see the food habits, the most Romans ate light breakfast and a little food during the day, and they would then have a large dinner, and dinner was a major event starting at around 3 in the afternoon, and they would lie on their sides on the couch and be served by the servants. They ate with their hands and would rinse their hands often in water during the meal. Okay, so and typical food have been bread and beans, fish, vegetables, cheese, and dried fruit also they followed, and they ate little bit. And the rich would have had a variety of foods in fancy sauces, and how the food looked was just as important as the taste. And some of the food they ate would seem very strange to us, such as a mice and peacock tongues also. Okay, so they are as a part of the non-veg, they consider these as mice and peacock tongues. And when you see the cloth, we'll see in the next slide the detailed way of the clothing also. And they wear the toga. The toga was a long robe made up of several yards of material. The wealthy wore white togas made from wool or linen, and some colors and markings on togas were reserved for the certain people and certain occasions also. When you see as a example, a toga with a purple border was worn by the high-ranking senators and consuls, while a black toga was generally only worn during times of mourning. Okay, so according to conditions, they worn the toga in certain colors. Okay, so the toga was uncomfortable and hard to wear, and was generally only worn in public, not around the house. Okay, so in later years, the toga grew out of style, and most people wore a tunic with a cloak when it was cold. Okay, so the tunic was more like a long shirt, which is like a paisama, and tunics were worn by the rich around the house, and under their togas, they were regular dress of the poor. Okay, so and after that, I will give you the life in the country. First of all, I'll go with life in the country, and then we'll move to the dress styles, and we'll end up today. Okay, so I will give you this how the life in the country. When we think of ancient Rome, we often think of the cities of Rome filled with people, large buildings, and senators walking around the togas. Okay, so however, most of the population of the Roman Empire lived in the countryside. Life in the countryside was very different from that in the city. Okay, so what did the people do in the country? Most of the people who lived in the countryside were the farmers, and they worked very hard. Countryside in the sense in the villages. Okay, so most of the people who lived in the villages were the farmers, and they worked very hard. They got up early in the morning and worked the fields or did course until dusk. Most people had other more skilled job like blacksmiths, carpenters, innkeepers, and bakers are like that. Okay, so according to their profession, these classes may be divided. Okay, so when you see the goods, basically, the countryside played the Roman Empire. Different kinds of food was grown in different areas and then shipped throughout the empire. And one of the most important crops was grains. A lot of grains were grown in Egypt and then shipped to large cities such as Rome. Other major crops of Roman Empire included grapes. Okay, so mostly for making wine, and olives for the oil. And small farms and big estates. When you see the Roman countryside and the Roman villages was made up of farms of all different sizes, and some farms were large estates run by wealthy Romans who often had a house in the city and a large villa in the country also. And these farms were usually managed by servants, and the fields were worked by the slaves. And there were smaller farms too, which were worked by poorer farmers, and the small farmers often worked the fields themselves, sometimes with the help of the few slaves. Okay, so you are well aware that in the modern phenomena, where the people are maintaining the two houses, one house at cities or towns, and one more like a farmhouse in the countryside, in the villages. Okay, so where the in the villages, these landlords or any rich class which having such a huge lands in their hands, and they are constructing, maintaining such farmhouse around those lands, and those were kept under a certain slaves or any common people or small farmers. And these landlords are any rich class, they are visiting those farmhouses or lands once a week or frequently. And they are commonly living in the towns or cities, in the urban areas. Okay, so such things you are aware in the modern times also. The same thing you will see in the ancient Roman civilization. Okay, so when you see the villages, there were many small villages in the countryside throughout the Roman Empire. Families often lived in the village near their farm, and the village provided some security as well as the local craftsmen. And villages were very different in different parts of the empire. Many of the people living on small farms and in the villages knew the little of the Roman Empire and the city of Rome. Okay, so like the farmhouses were different depending on where they were in the empire. They were typically very small huts made from the local materials. Most homes had only one or two rooms. Often, farm animals lived in the huts and with the farmers in order to keep them safe. Wealthier farmers might have a separate building for the kitchen, workshop, or like the according to their requirement. You see the different rooms in the house. Okay, so we have the concept of villas in the Roman civilization also, and wealthy Romans had large country homes called the villas. Okay, so such a I already give you such a maintaining of such farmhouses. Okay, so these homes were much larger than the homes they had in the city, and they had multiple rooms, servants' quarters, pools, and gardens. And Romans often visiting their villas to relax and escape from the hustle and the bustle of the city life. And the when you see the Roman legions, the army of Rome, the Roman legions were usually stationed somewhere out of the city and in the countryside. They lived in the ports and helped to maintain the peace or conquer new lands. When the soldiers retired, they were often given a small farm as a part of their retirement, and this helped to keep the soldiers happy and also kept farmer Roman soldiers living in lands throughout the Roman Empire. Okay, so these are certain things regarding the Roman life basically in the ancient part. Okay, so apart from those, we once again see the food and clothing system and how the food is they followed. One is the Romans are ate the three meals during the day, and the first meal is the breakfast, which called the intaculum. Okay, so intaculum, it was usually eaten around sunrise and consisted of bread and maybe some fruit. And the next meal is the lunch, which was called the prandium, and the prandium was very small meal eaten around 11 a.m. And the main meal of the day was the cena. It was eaten in the afternoon. Okay, so and three times they will take a meal in a day. And when you see the food of the poor, as you might expect, the poor people in the Rome did not eat the uh, same food as the wealthy. And the main food of the poor was porridge called the pulse. And pulse was made by mixing around wheat and water. And sometimes they might get some vegetable or the fruit to eat with their pulse. And the poor ate very little meat. When you see the dinner parties, the wealthy ate much better than the poor, and they would often have fancy dinner parties that lasted for hours and had several courses. And they would have a variety of foods, including fruit, egg, vegetables, meat, fish, and cakes. And did they sit? Can they take the food around the table? And at formal dinner parties, the Romans reclined on the couches around the low table. They would lay on their left arm and then eat for the center table using their right hand. Okay, so for less farmer meals, the Romans would sit on the stool or stand while eating. Okay, so the main utensil used by the Romans for the eating was the spoon. They also used their hands a lot, and they sometimes used a knife or a fork like utensils for cutting or spearing a piece of a food. And some of the foods that the ancient Romans ate would seem strange to use today. At fancy banquets, they sometimes ate things like the flamingo's tongues, roast peacock, and stewed snails as a part of non-veg. And perhaps the strangest thing they ate was dormice. Dormice were considered as a delicacy and were sometimes eaten as a appetizers. Okay, so one Roman recipe called the dormice to be dipped in honey and rolled in poppy seeds. Okay, so the main drink of the Romans was wine, and it was often watered down for daily consumption also. Okay, so students, these are some cultural aspects of the Roman civilization as a part of ancient Rome. And this is end of my class today, and I will give you remaining social. I will give you remaining the cultural aspects in the next class. And after completion of these cultural aspects, I will move to the scientific contribution of this Roman civilization or the Roman people to the world. Okay. So, students, are you hearing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, regarding this cultural things of Roman civilization, have you any um, doubts or clarification?
No, sir.
No? Okay, so thank you very much. I am ending my class. You have any doubts regarding your classes or other teachers assignments? You are ask me now.
అసైన్మెంట్స్ తీసుకోవాలి సార్.
అసైన్మెంట్ కంప్లీట్ చేశారా?
నాకు టాపిక్ తెలియదు సార్. అశోక్ సార్.
Yeah, okay, Ashok. I am not giving any topic to you. It's a common phenomena that everyone should select two essay questions from each module. You have to write the answers and send it to me, right?
ఓకే సార్.
సార్ మెటీరియల్ సెండ్ చేస్తాను.
ఓకే, సో నేను మెటీరియల్ పంపిస్తా అని చెప్పాను కదా, సారీ, ఈరోజు పంపించే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాను. ఓకే, సో ప్రతి ఒక్క మాడ్యూల్ నుంచి, అంటే మనకి 4 మాడ్యూల్స్ ఉన్నాయి 4th పేపర్లోని. ఆ 4 మాడ్యూల్స్ నుంచి ఒక్కొక్క, అంటే ఈచ్ మాడ్యూల్ నుంచి యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ద ఆర్ సెలెక్ట్ 2 essay క్వశ్చన్స్. ఓకే, సో మీకు ఇష్టమైన ఏవైనా ఒక 2 కాన్సెప్ట్లు తీసుకోండి, లేదా ఎస్ఏ క్వశ్చన్ ఫార్మాట్లో ఏదైనా క్వశ్చన్ ఫ్రేమ్ చేసుకోండి. ఓకే, సో దానికి ఆన్సర్ రాయండి, రైట్? అంటే ఈచ్ మాడ్యూల్ నుంచి యూ హ్యావ్ టు రైట్ ద 2 essay ఆన్సర్స్. ఓకే, సో ఒక్కొక్క మాడ్యూల్ నుంచి 2 essay ఆన్సర్స్ రాసి అవి యాజ్ టీజ్గా మీరు ఇంతకుముందు ఎట్లయితే పంపించారో ఇండివిజువల్ టీచర్స్కి అలాగే పంపించండి. ఓకే, సో మెటీరియల్ పంపించే ప్రయత్నం చేస్తాను ఈరోజు, రైట్?
సార్ మీరు వాట్సాప్లో చూడట్లే కదా సార్?
సార్ వాయిస్ బ్రేక్ అవుతుంది సార్.
వాట్సాప్లో ఏం చూడట్లేదు?
అదే ఇప్పుడు ఇంటర్నల్ ఎగ్జామ్ పేపర్ పంపించినా ఇంతవరకు చూడలే కదా సార్?
అవును, ఇంటర్నల్ పేపర్ చూడలేదు అంటే మీకు, అంటే అది మేము ఎలా చెప్పాలి మీకు? అంటే మాకంటూ ఒక టైం ఉంటుంది కదా, అంటే మాకు ఒక టైం ఉంటుంది కదా, మేము ఎప్పుడు వాల్యూ చేయాలనేది మాకు తెలుసు కదా.
అది అట్లా కదా సార్, సీన్ అని పడతలేదు కదా మాకు, ఇంకా మీకు చేరిందో లేదో అని మాకు డౌట్ వస్తుంది.
లేదు, అంటే జనరల్గా ఏం చేస్తామంటే మేము వాల్యూ చేసేటప్పుడు చూస్తాం. ఓకే,
థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.
సో మాకు టైం ఉంటుంది కదా,
ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ.
సో ఆ టైంలో మేము వాల్యూ చేస్తుంటాం, రైట్? సో మీరేమి దాని గురించి టెన్షన్ పడిన అవసరం లేదు, మా సార్ మా పేపర్ చూడలేదని. మేము వాల్యూ చేసేటప్పుడు మీ ఆన్సర్స్, అదే మీ పేపర్స్ ఆల్రెడీ ఓపెన్ చేసి వాల్యూ చేసి మార్క్స్ యాడ్ చేస్తాం, రైట్?
ఓకే సార్.
ఇంకేమైనా డౌట్లు? ఓకే స్టూడెంట్స్, ఐఎమ్ ఎండింగ్ మై క్లాస్. థ్యాంక్ యూ.